There is a child somewhere in this world right now, sitting alone at lunch while the other kids laugh and play together. There is a little one staring out the window, lost in thoughts too deep for their age, wondering why they feel so different from everyone around them. There is a young soul crying in their bedroom tonight, not because someone was mean to them, but because they carry a weight inside their heart that they cannot explain to anyone, not even to the parents who love them more than anything. If you're watching this message, maybe you were that child once. Maybe you still remember what it felt like to be surrounded by people, yet feel completely alone. Maybe you have a son or daughter right now who seems to live in a world that others cannot see. This is not a video about sadness or pain. This is a message of hope, of understanding, and of a truth that Edgar Cayce revealed many years ago that can finally bring peace to every soul who has ever felt like they did not belong here. Edgar Cayce was known as the Sleeping Prophet, a man from humble beginnings in Kentucky who discovered he could enter a deep state of sleep and access information that changed thousands of lives. For over 40 years, he gave readings that touched on health, relationships, purpose, and most importantly, the journey of the soul through many lifetimes. Among all the wisdom he shared, some of the most powerful teachings were about children. Cayce understood something that most people in his time could not accept, and that many still struggle with today. He knew that every child who comes into this world is not a blank page. Every baby that takes its first breath carries within it the memories, the lessons, and the unfinished business of lives that came before. When we understand this truth, everything changes about how we see the children who seem different, the ones who are left out, the ones who never quite fit in with the crowd. According to Cayce, some children are excluded not because there is something wrong with them, but because there is something extraordinary within them. These are the old souls, the ones who have walked this earth many times before, and who carry a depth of experience that their young bodies cannot fully express. Imagine being a wise elder trapped inside the form of a 7-year-old. Imagine having feelings and knowings that go far beyond what your classmates can understand. Imagine sensing things about people, about places, about the unseen world that no one taught you and no one around you seems to feel. This is the reality for many children who find themselves on the outside looking in. They are not broken. They are not strange. They are simply operating on a different frequency than the world around them. And that frequency often makes connection with other children difficult in ways that neither side can fully understand. Cayce spoke often about what he called soul groups and spiritual missions. He explained that souls travel together through many lifetimes, learning from each other, helping each other grow, and working together on purposes that span centuries. But sometimes a soul needs to come into a life where they will be somewhat isolated, somewhat set apart from the crowd. This is not punishment. This is preparation. The child who spends their early years feeling excluded is often being shaped for something important. They are developing inner strength that will serve them later. They are learning to trust their own perception when the world tells them they are wrong. They are building a connection with the spiritual realm that will become their greatest gift as they grow older. The loneliness they feel now is carving out a space inside them that will one day be filled with purpose, with meaning, and with the ability to help others who feel just as lost as they once did. There is another reason why some children are kept separate from the mainstream, and this one might surprise you. Cayce revealed in his readings that certain souls come into this life with heightened spiritual sensitivity. They can feel what others feel. They can sense energies in rooms and in people. They can sometimes see or hear things from the spiritual realm that remain invisible to everyone else. These gifts, while beautiful, can be overwhelming for a young child who does not understand what is happening to them. Other children sense this difference, even if they cannot name it. They pull away, not out of cruelty, but out of instinct. The sensitive child carries a light that can be too bright for those who are not ready to see it. This creates a natural separation that protects both the gifted child and those around them, until everyone is mature enough to handle what that child truly is. If you were a parent watching this and recognizing your own child in these words, please hear me when I say this is not your fault, and it is not their fault. The spiritual realm has placed your child exactly where they need to be for reasons that will become clear in time. Your job is not to fix them or force them to be like everyone else. Your job is to see them for who they truly are, an ancient soul on a sacred journey, temporarily wearing the body of a child. When you look at them through these eyes, everything shifts. The behaviors that frustrated you start to make sense. The questions they ask that seem too deep for their age become windows into wisdom they carried here from before. The tears they cry over things other kids ignore become evidence of a heart so open and so connected that it feels everything around it, whether it wants to or not. Now, I want to share with you some of the signs that Edgar Cayce identified in his readings. Signs that reveal when a child is carrying an old soul and walking a spiritual path that sets them apart from their peers. These signs are not meant to label anyone or make any child feel even more different than they already do. They are meant to bring understanding, to shine a light on what has been hidden, and to give both children and parents a framework for making sense of experiences that often feel confusing and isolating. The first sign is a deep fascination with questions that most children never think about. While other kids are focused on games and toys and the simple pleasures of childhood, these children want to know why we are here. They ask about death and what happens after. They wonder about God, about the stars, about whether animals have souls, about where we go when we dream. These questions do not come from books they have read or shows they have watched. They bubble up from somewhere deep inside, from a place of knowing that existed before this lifetime began. Parents often do not know how to answer these questions because they are not questions that have easy answers. But the asking itself is the sign. The child who wonders about the meaning of existence at age 5 is a soul who has wondered about these things across many lives and is still searching for the truth that will finally bring them peace. The second sign shows up in how these children relate to time and memory. They may speak casually about things that happened before they were born, as if they were there. They might mention places they have never visited with a familiarity that cannot be explained. Some children have detailed memories of what seem like past lives, completed with names, locations, and events that researchers have sometimes been able to verify. He's taught that the veil between lives is thinner for some souls than for others. The child who remembers is not making things up or seeking attention. They are simply accessing information that most of us have forgotten how to reach. This can be unsettling for adults who do not believe in reincarnation, but for the child, these memories are as real as what they had for breakfast this morning. The third sign appears in their emotional depth and their response to the suffering of others. Old souls feel things intensely. A news story about someone in pain far away can bring them to tears. An animal that is hurt will occupy their thoughts for days. They cannot understand why people are cruel to each other, and this confusion is genuine because at a soul level they have evolved beyond the need for cruelty and cannot comprehend why others have not. This sensitivity is a double gift and burden. It allows them to connect deeply with those who are hurting and to offer comfort that seems beyond their years. But it also makes the world feel sharp and overwhelming at times, like walking through life without the protective skin that everyone else seems to have. The fourth sign is a natural attraction to spiritual subjects, healing practices, and the mysteries of the unseen world. These children are drawn to crystals, to angels, to meditation, to anything that connects them with realms beyond the physical. They did not learn this interest from anyone. It lives inside them, like a compass, pointing toward home. Many of these children will grow up to become healers, teachers, counselors, or spiritual guides. Their early fascination is simply their soul preparing for the work it came here to do. When parents recognize and nurture this interest, instead of dismissing it as weird or inappropriate, they help their child stay connected to their true purpose, even through the difficult years of trying to fit into a world that does not always make room for the spiritually gifted. The fifth sign is perhaps the most obvious to those who pay attention. These children often have invisible friends, conversations with beings no one else can see, or a rich inner world that seems more real to them than the outer world everyone shares. Cayce was clear that the spiritual realm is not distant or separate from our daily lives. It is right here, overlapping with everything we see and touch. Children who have not yet been taught to close off their perception can often see and interact with this realm naturally. The imaginary friend might not be imaginary at all. The whispered conversations might be with guides, with angels, or with loved ones who have passed on and who watch over the child from the other side. Rather than being frightened by this or trying to shut it down, wise parents learn to ask questions, to listen with open hearts, and to honor what their child is experiencing, even if it lies beyond their own ability to perceive. Before I continue with the final part of this message, I want to pause for just a moment and speak directly to you, whoever you are, wherever you are watching from tonight. If these words have meant something to you, if they have touched a place inside you that needed to be seen and understood, I want you to know that your being here is not random. Something brought you to this message at exactly the right time. I am not going to ask you to subscribe with some flashy phrase or make promises about what you will get if you click that button. I am simply going to tell you that this little corner of the internet is trying to be a place where souls like yours can gather, can feel less alone, and can explore the deeper questions that mainstream life so often ignores. If that sounds like something your heart has been looking for, then welcome home. Hit subscribe and stay a while. And if you have a story of your own, maybe you were the excluded child, or maybe you're raising one now, please share it in the comments below. Your words might be exactly what another soul needs to read tonight to know they are not alone. Now let us talk about what this understanding means in practical terms, because knowledge without application is just words floating in the air. If you are a parent of a spiritually sensitive child, the most important thing you can do is believe them. Believe them when they tell you they see things. Believe them when they say they feel things. Believe them when they express knowings that seem to come from nowhere. You do not have to understand everything they experience. You do not have to see what they see or feel what they feel. You simply have to trust that their experience is real for them and that your belief in them is the foundation upon which their confidence will be built. Children who are told they are imagining things, that they are too sensitive, that they need to toughen up and be normal. These children learn to shut down the very gifts they were born with, They learn to distrust themselves at the deepest level, and they carry that wound into adulthood, often spending decades trying to recover what was lost. The second thing you can do is create safe spaces where your child can be fully themselves without fear of judgment. This might be a quiet corner of your home where they can retreat when the world feels too loud. It might be time set aside each day for them to share their thoughts and feelings without interruption. It might be introducing them to books, to music, to art, or to nature in ways that nourish their soul rather than drain it. These children need beauty. They need quiet. They need moments of peace where they can reconnect with the deeper part of themselves that the busy world tends to drown out. When you provide these spaces, you're telling your child that who they are is valuable, that their inner life matters, and that they do not have to perform or pretend to earn your love. The third thing is to help them understand their own experience through a spiritual framework. Depending on your own beliefs, this might look different for each family. But Cayce's teachings offer a wonderful foundation because they are practical, they are hopeful, and they make sense of experiences that otherwise seem random or frightening. When a child understands that they are an old soul, that their feelings have purpose, that their sensitivity is a gift rather than a flaw, something profound shifts inside them. They stop seeing themselves as broken and start seeing themselves as chosen for something meaningful. This reframe can make all the difference in how they navigate childhood and how they eventually step into the adults they are meant to become. For those of you who were the excluded child and who are now grown, carrying these memories and perhaps still feeling like an outsider in many ways, please hear this. Everything you went through had meaning. Every lonely lunch period, every birthday party you were not invited to, every night you cried wondering what was wrong with you, it was all part of shaping you into who you needed to become. The exclusion was not rejection by the universe. It was protection and preparation. You were being kept separate so that you could develop in ways that would not have been possible if you had blended in with the crowd. The very things that made you feel like you did not belong here are the things that make you essential to this world now. Your sensitivity allows you to understand suffering that others walk past without noticing. Your depth allows you to ask questions that lead to real answers. Your experience of being on the outside gives you compassion for every other outsider you will ever meet. You are not damaged goods. You are a finely tuned instrument that the world desperately needs. Edgar Cayce taught that every soul who comes to Earth has a purpose, a mission that only they can fulfill. For the old souls, for the sensitive ones, for the children who were excluded and the adults they grew into, that purpose often involves helping others wake up to spiritual reality. You are here to remind people that there is more to life than what can be seen and touched. You are here to bring healing to those who have forgotten their own connection to the divine. You're here to shine a light in dark places and to offer hope to those who have lost their way. The exclusion you experienced was never meant to diminish you. It was meant to prepare you for a role that requires everything you have become through your struggles. As we come to the end of this message together, I want to thank you from the deepest part of my heart for staying with me this long. Time is precious, attention is precious, and you chose to spend some of both here, exploring these ideas, sitting with these truths, and perhaps recognizing something about yourself or someone you love along the way. If this content has resonated with you, I would be honored if you would subscribe to this channel so we can continue walking this path together. There are more messages to share, more teachings from Edgar Cayce that can bring light to dark places. and more conversations to have with beautiful souls like you, who are seeking meaning in a world that often feels meaningless. Please leave a comment below telling me your story. Were you the child who was left out? Do you have a son or daughter who fits this description? What would you like me to explore in future videos? Your thoughts and your experiences matter here. They shape what this channel becomes, and they create a community where everyone belongs, especially those who have spent too long feeling like they belong nowhere. You are seen. You are understood. You are never really excluded from anything that mattered. You are simply being prepared for everything that does. Go forward knowing that your soul chose this path for beautiful reasons, and that the best of your journey is still ahead.